Hey guys, this is Hell Hades, back on the test server, showing you the new stuff that's dropping in Raid on Wednesday this week, 2 days time. Some of this stuff's already kind of got out there in various guises, but you haven't seen the full picture yet anywhere. I've seen some of the videos, not seen it all. We've got new champions, we've got the empowerment stuff to go through. Some of it's good, some of it's not, but I'll take you through all of it. And I'll give you my honest opinion all the way through, like I always do. Now, look, I'm breaking the cardinal sin of YouTube here. Clarion have said to us, oh, by the way, we're going to drop the embargo on you posting stuff. And I'm like, oh, man, I've already put my videos out for the day. YouTube does not like us putting out more than 3 videos in a day. It's going to be my 4th one. So please hit the like. Please post a comment below. Give us a chance to let YouTube to get this one going. But anyway, let's get into it. So for this video, we've actually got a sponsor. It is G Fuel. G Fuel sponsor my channel every month. Really awesome. And for their Black Friday event, which basically starts right now, goes right the way through to the 30th of November, you can get a buy one, get one free on Luck Juice. G Fuel Luck Juice, popping along. Loads of different flavors for you to choose from. There will be a link down below. If you click in through that link, then you will support me. Support me to get this type of sponsor deal. But either way, get yourself some G Fuel this week if you're interested. It's actually awesome stuff. And, I mean, buy one, get one free. Who doesn't like that? Honestly. How did that one slip in there? Okay, then. Let's start with the Guardian Ring. And then we're going to get into the new champions after. I will say this right now. New champions are pretty disgusting. There's some, like, crazy stuff coming out in the next patch, which is this week. So, here we go, into the new Guardian Ring. You still keep your old sparring pit. Don't worry about that. It's still there, fellas. But we've got these extra ways to upgrade champions now. Now, going back to what Cirilla said, you know, empowerment's not going to drastically change champions. I mean, all of the content creators are kind of feeling a bit iffy about the empowerment. I'll be completely frank with you there. Maybe not all of them. One is kind of comfortable, I think. But anyway. So, Faction Guardians, what's going on here? You've got a chance to increase the stats for each type of champion you've got by putting dupes in here. So, if you've got 2 of a champion like I've got Sethalia here, I throw them both in, I lock them in, and they're there. You can still use both of them in combat, in any type of PvE, PvP modes. Doesn't matter. It's just a way to gain extra stats for that rarity of champion. So if I'm filling these up, this is not affecting any of my rare champions, any of my epics. It's only my legendary champions. Okay? And you can fill up as many as you can in all of these things. There's literally no barrier to it. If you've got 3 of a champion, like my Ursula here, she's not allowed to go in unless I've got a 4th one. So duos and quads and 6s and 8s all are useful, but trips don't give you any extra benefit when you're trying to fill up this board. So, I mean, I guess the long and short of it is you can gain a decent amount of extra stats like you would from a Great Hall. So, see here, I've just locked these in. If I go and check on my Sethalia and I look at her total stats, she's now got a Faction Guardians empowerment level. So, it doesn't increase any base stats. It's all based like the Great Hall is from your base stats. So 10% of your base stat gets enhanced in HP. The only ones which are flat are speed. And I'll be honest with you, I wish that speed wasn't a part of this. If speed wasn't a part of this, then I think I'd be totally on board with it. I think it's a pretty decent way of empowering the rest of your champions by using your dupes. On my free-to-play, I've been working on trying to fill some of the rares for places like, what's his name? High Elves, for like Apothecary. So you can go and farm dupe rares from campaign for the faction that you want to enhance. So in particular, if you've got a speed champion in your arena, then you could go and farm up extra dupe rares to try and punch some extra speed. But yeah, I mean, filling this up will gain you some additional stats. It's a pretty good way, I think, of using dupes. So, Faction Guardians is one. So, the second one I'm going to go on to is I'm going to talk about the token trader here. So, I can go into any of my legendary champions and I can unbind anyone, which means I permanently destroy them. Permanently gone into the ether. So anyone which I'm just like, you know what? I don't need extra faction guardians and I can't see me ever empowering that champion to the max. I can go ahead and unbind that champion, get 500 life tokens. He pops like a kind of Thanos flick and he becomes 500 life tokens up here. Okay? Now I sent out a poll on my YouTube a couple of days ago and I said, what would be a fair amount of legendaries to unbind into tokens to get a new legendary? And I'm thinking like most games that I play, yeah, most games, it's like you put 3 in, get 1 out. 3 dupes in, get a new 1 out. Yeah, League of Legends, 3 in, 1 out. Most games that I've played kind of go by that philosophy, okay? Now, this is something which I can't get on board with. 5 dupe legendaries. Imagine how many people have actually got 5 dupe legendaries. Okay, you're probably saying to yourself, loads. No, not loads. It's actually quite a small percentage of the player base would have 5 dupe legendaries just kind of laying around. Anyone who's spending a decent amount of money would have a fair few, but then that type of player probably fills up their faction guardians anyway, and the token trader honestly is kind of null and void to them. I mean, for me personally, the only reason that I could see me wanting to do the token trader is if I wanted to massively empower one of my legendaries. Or, and in fact, I'm going to test it. I'm going to see if we can get multiple versions of the same one. Okay, so I'm up to 2,500 points here. I'm going to buy Minaya. And Minaya's been purchased. She's gone. So I don't know if this ever unlocks and you can get her again. But it says purchase limit reached. So it doesn't look like you can just buy Morley again and again and again to massively empower her. So it's a one-off purchase. I think it's over the top price, like by a long way. By a long way. I think 8 for 1 is obscene. 6 for 1 is borderline obscene. And that's where the majority of them fit. So, you know, these are good champions. All of these, I spoke about this in another video. They're all really good champions. Okay, so you do get good return for your champions. But 6 for 1 is not fair. It's not a fair system in my eyes. Especially bearing in mind you only can throw dupes in. If you had 6 crap legendaries and you were like, it's still too many, but you were like, I'm going to throw those all in to get myself a good Tomb Lord. Yeah, I could be like, fine, okay. But you can't do that. You can only do it with dupes. And the amount of people that can use it is minimal. So I think it's a shit system, honestly. I think, and this is the feedback I've given on the test server, let us get at least 100 points for an epic. If we can put epics into the mix here and get 100 points, then all of a sudden, over time, you might be able to get yourself a legendary champion by burning some of those dupe epics. As it is right now, it's so overpriced. If this was 1,500 to 2,000 points, I can kind of get on board with it. But 3,000 to 4,000, it's obscenely overpriced. And I would just recommend to all of you, don't burn any dupes, empower the factions. Just spend into the factions and pump up their stats with the faction guardians. So now on to the controversial one then. This has been in the community. Someone leaked it. Fine, whatever. They leaked it, but I think the information has not quite gone through correctly. It's still pretty crazy. So I have got some champions that I could empower. And I remember when I talked about this before, I was like, surely, though, the empowerment's just going to be like 1% of this, 1% of that, and it's not going to be worthwhile compared to faction guardians. Yeah, I said exactly those words. This will not be something that's worthwhile compared to boosting the stats of all of your legendaries in that faction, okay? But they've made it so that it's kind of nuts. And I remember Cirilla saying in Ash's interview, don't worry, empowering champions won't have much of an effect. Something along those lines. And I was like, okay, well, it feels like it does make sense to do faction guardians. But let's go into a Kymar. Kymar is a big champion for a lot of people. And I guess we just go into what the bonuses could be. So at level 1, you gain stats. It says here base stat increase, which is what's been misleading people. It doesn't increase your base stats. It scales off of your base stats, okay? Which is infinitely better than increasing your base stats. Because everything else scales from your base stats. Yeah, Great Hall scales from your base stats. All of that new stuff I just shown you scales from your base stats. Whereas this increases in the same way that Great Hall or any other stat boost increases. It takes your base stat and it adds on 10%, 10%, 10%. It's still obscenely powerful for people that can do it. Okay, so adding 15 speed to a Kymar along with all of these extra stats is literally obscene. Think of that on a Sifi, think of that on a Duchess. It is an obscene amount of stats when you get to the total max per potential champion. 55 extra resistance with that increased resist buff that's coming along the lines is huge. It's massive. So I can see the whales, not the whales. It's not the whales. I'm a whale. I'm nowhere near maxing anyone. Okay? In fact, that's a lie. I could probably max. I can get to +3 on a Whirlim and +3 on an Astrolith. Yeah, so I can get to level 2 on Chunk probably. But that means I wouldn't be doing any of my Guardian, Faction Guardian stats, which are really important as well. So I probably won't empower really anyone initially till I've got a kind of lay of the land to find out what's going on. This will only properly affect less than 0.001% of people who play the game. But it's obscenely overpowered. Obscenely. And that's what just about every creator has fed back. It's ridiculous. Like, this is not healthy for the game. Basically, those plat players probably in the top 100. That's probably about the only group that might even be able to do it. And even the top 100, I know a bunch of them, and they can't do it. So it's going to be such a minute number of people that have got multiple dupes of the right legendary champions that are in the current meta, albeit the meta might change. But anyway, it's ridiculous. It makes no sense to the game. It's totally overpowered. And it's for such a minute group of people in the game anyway that we probably should just forget it even exists. That's my honest view of it. It's silly. If you don't get to level 2, it's kind of pointless. For a damage dealer, if you don't get to level 4, it's kind of pointless, honestly. So if I'm doing Trunder, if I'm not getting these extra damage dealing stats, the rest of it's kind of white noise, really. You know, extra attack, yeah, fine, it's kind of nice. But it's not... You're trading a Trunder extra attack for extra accuracy. You probably don't want it. But you do want this crit rate and crit damage because that's actually massive. And the extra speed just helps you build slower, therefore more stats. So that does help as well. It's going to push, eventually, I guess, over time, it's going to change the way the game is played a bit. But I can't see many people ever level 4 in their dupes. I just can't see it. It's so difficult to get legendary champions in the game, especially finding the right meta champions when they're constantly adding more and more champions to the game. We're going to get to new champions in a sec. I just feel like it's being over-talked a lot because it's stupid. So we should call it out. It's stupid, but it's being kind of over-talked because of how insane the numbers are, not because of how realistic anyone's going to actually use this thing. So there'll probably be, I don't know, maybe 50 players in the game that even bother with this, I think. They have added in here ways to empower the champions, which are kind of one-offs. So, I mean, Noble all of a sudden has got a massive paid raid, yeah? He's going to empower your ninja. Noble's crap. Ninja's awesome. So probably I would throw those dupes into Noble. I don't know, guys. I guess let me know your thoughts below. I know it's already been out there, so it's not new news right now. But it is kind of nuts, the level of change that you can do with this. I just don't feel like it's going to affect very many people at all. So that's the empowerment. That's all of the Guardian Ring stuff. For a dupe system, my overall feeling is Faction Guardians, I like it. Token Trader, totally overpriced. And empowering champions is simply dumb as it stands right now. So let's get into the new champions that have been released into the game. Actually, some pretty sick champions in this group. So with here the Crowned. For a minute, when they released the video earlier, I was like, oh, they've got this champion as the kind of big release, but this isn't the Medusa one. Look at the artwork on some of these champs. We've got here a demon spawn. She stabbed herself through the chest. I mean, you've got to be kind of sick in the head to even come up with the idea of that artwork, but it's so damn good. With the hands down behind, it's like freaking amazing artwork. I really love this skin. Really cool skin. So what's going on with this legendary then? Demon Spawn legendary. AoE A1. We actually don't have that many AoE A1s. It's kind of nice. With a good chance to place Leech as well. 50% chance to play Leech on an AoE A1. I really like it. Also places a heal on a random ally as well. Very nice. A2. Places increased defense on all allies. Also increases the duration of all heals and continuous heals for an extra turn. Then activates heals on all allies. So it's basically, it's the equivalent of having an instant heal, 15% heal, as well as keeping that continuous heal popping. 3-turn cooldown plus increased defense. This is a great support ability. I love it. A3 as well. Full cleanse, then heal. Based on this champion's max HP. She's got crazy high base HP. Crazy high. And good base stats all around. So this is just like a crazy healer. Basically what it is. Passive as well. Places a heal buff on the ally with the lowest HP for 1 turn at the start of each turn. Very cool. I love it. So just a straight up healer. Resistance in all battles. She's not going to completely change the whole landscape of the game, but it is a really good legendary champion for support. Okay, let's keep going then. Next one up is Gamoran. Again, the artwork here. Look at the lighting. I know it's sad to say it, but it's so freaking good. So good. I love the kind of swirls around this kind of blood coin or what have you in his hand. He's got the staff. So he's looking good. He's got something going on as well. What's this here? He's got like a door knocker on his chest. In case you want to get in. It's very weird. It's very weird. And then he's got this kind of, I don't know, like cat's heads with a little tassel covering up its face. I don't know what's going on with this dude, but it looks sweet anyway. Gamoran, Shadowkin then. A1 block active steals, A1 double hitter. It's a good A1. Any block active steals, it's a nasty steal to put out there. It's not a bad A1. A2, AoE, 80% chance of stealing a buff. After stealing, applies buff spread, taking a random buff from this champion and placing it on all allies. It's cool. It's a cool ability. So he removes a buff from every enemy, takes those buffs on, and then he'll just spread one of them across your team. It's a really nice ability. It's a hit as well. It's unique. I really love it. I love it. I think they've done a good job with this one. Now, this is where it gets kind of nuts. Woo! Look at this ability. So 4-turn cooldown, can target dead or living enemies. This is, by the way, what you call a meta-changing champion. This is the one. Meta changer right here. If the target is dead, places block revive on them. Then attacks all enemies. Each enemy will receive damage equal to 20% of the target's enemy max HP. If the target is a boss, the damage will be equal to 20% of this champion's max HP. This attack cannot be a crit and will ignore any shield buff and 100% of each target's defense. It's a nuts ability. So he's targeting someone that could be dead and block revives them. Straight up block revives them, which is crazy. It's completely meta changing, that ability right there. That alone is meta changing. Okay? It's crazy. Then attacks all enemies. Each enemy will receive damage equal to 20% of the target's max HP. Now, I guess, like if you're talking about a Ice Golem minion, it says here it reduces the damage to 20% of this champion's. I guess so, yeah, so fine. If you're talking about a boss's minion, it's not much, but you'll block revive them. If you're talking about any ads that you're fighting in PvP, and it's a straight up 20% of whoever that was or is, and it just spreads it across the whole team and basically can't be blocked. It's cool. It's more about the block revive than the extra damage it's going to do, but I really like it. If the target's alive, places True Fear on them for 2 turns, heals all allies by 20% of the target's max HP instead. If the target is a boss minion, yeah, 20% again. So, and the True Fear cannot be resisted. So you look here, I guess the only drawback for me is none of this ability needs accuracy, but the rest of his kit does. That's the only drawback for me, is you still have to build him with accuracy, even though this doesn't need it on any of the kits. And then you've got here a passive as well, revives 1 ally with 30% health and turn meter each time an enemy is killed on a 1-turn cooldown if booked. So he has to take a turn for it to work, but that's nuts as well. That is nuts as well. So it's close to like a Lydia-esque passive-ish and a crazy block revive part of this skill here. I think this dude is going to be arena meta changing. I think it's, especially with all the new stuff we're going on. The more you can block revive people, the better chance you've got of winning a fight with the arena meta that's probably coming down the line. So Gamoran, damn, what a champion. Crazy base speed, crazy base stats as well. Like, easy to keep alive. Okay, let's get into the weirdest of the legendaries then. Kyuku is, I think, just a mistake, honestly. I think she's a mistake. She's got a sweet, I think it's a she. Yeah. Sweet old shield. Look at this. Sweet shield. But I'm not really sure what's going on with this champion. So, A1 attacks an enemy. Place 3 hits if the target's under 3 or more debuffs. A bit like what Elder Skog does, but on a single target. Each hit, those got a good chance of weaken. So, it's an okay A1. A2 is completely messed up. Makes no sense. AoE ability. 100% chance, if booked, of placing decreased attack. Okay, I'm on board with that. After attacking, 100% chance of placing HP burn for 2 turns if you didn't land decreased attack. So at first I was kind of like, okay, so what? Is this like to try and build a no accuracy version of this same champion? So it's almost like, okay, no accuracy means I didn't land my decreased attack, and therefore the burn goes on instead. But no, you still need accuracy to land the burn. I tried it. So it ends up being either you don't book this champion and you've got a 20% of 20% chance of placing a burn, or you book this champion and you just wait for those 3% chances of the decreased attack to be resisted and you try and place the burn. I guess, or maybe it's against weak affinity targets. In fact, I'm going to try that right now. Maybe this is the secret to this champion. If you don't land on a weak affinity, there's a chance she lands the burn after. Like, we landed a lot there. Slow it down. I guess this is it. Maybe it's meant for like a weak affinity thing. Yeah, a couple of burns out. So she becomes a weak affinity tank. That's the best I got. That's the best I got for this to make any sort of sense. But honestly, it just doesn't really make any sense as an ability. So I feel like it should just say, and this HP burn cannot be resisted. If it did that, then you would be able to play her with no accuracy, straight up tank, damage build, and still get an HP burn, AoE HP burn off, which is awesome. But as it is right now, I don't really get it. A3 is good though. Ally Protect on all champs, plus block damage on this champion for 3 turns and an extra turn, 4-turn cooldown. That's big. That's a massive ability right there. Yeah, that's a really cool ability because basically you're placing it for 2 turns. You get an extra turn, which makes this basically a 3-turn cooldown. And weaken and decrease attack is nice against clan boss. 4-turn cooldown's a bit long for decreased attack though. So I'm not really sure. I like this block damage ally protect. That's actually really cool for clan boss setup. We know how big ally protect is for clan boss anyway. It probably is also going to be pretty sweet for someone like Bommel, or anywhere we're taking a lot of damage as long as you time it right. And then we got here, every time this champion is hit with a crit, heals all allies by 15% of their max HP, then places increased defense buffs on all allies. It's basically a Seeker upgrade. It's awesome. This is really cool. This is cool. This is okay. This is weird. And defense in all battles buff. Crazy base stats again. Look at this base defense. Damn. Good base health as well. And okay base speed. A little bit low. But yeah, Koku, or A2's weird. The rest of it kind of makes some good sense. And then we've got the champions here. We've got a couple of epics. So we've got the new Drax, who's going to be the fragment event champion. Probably coming on Wednesday as well. I think that's when it's likely to drop. Now, what have we got to say about Drax? I've gone through Drax's kits. The one thing we didn't know is what books do. So books are going to make the leech a 50%. I mean, how many books? Whenever they do one of these epic events where the epic feels are kind of a bit easy to get, they make that champion need a shit ton of books. And this is no different. Look at these books. The A2 Hex does go up to 100% chance. That's big. That's really big to set up some of your other Hex champions. So this is actually cool, but 4 books here as well. And then this goes up to 100% chance to increase duration of enemy debuffs, which is very cool. When hitting enemies under Hex, 80% chance of putting one of their skills on cooldown. That's actually pretty damn cool as well. You've then got this heal, which we figured could be busted. 10% chance of stealing the heal when someone's under Hex. So you put the Hex out there. If they're trying to heal themselves, there was a 10% chance of stealing that. Goes up to 30 with books. So look, books, I think this is a great epic, honestly, but it's a ton of books. I mean, what's that? 5, 9, 10, 13, 16, 17 books. It's a ton of books. So, Plarium doing their silly old games for that. We then got another epic here. So, last champion to go through. This is a crazy epic for me. I think really good one. So, Urtikata. Again, I mean, we're talking, what's this? 7, 8 books on the A1. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Overall, books not too bad. But so much chance to go into this A1. It's kind of nuts. A1 attacks 2 times. 50% chance of increasing the duration of 2 poisons by a turn. Each hit, that is. I like that. I like that. Increasing poison with the A1 is nice. A2, triple hitter. So far, gearing up nicely with the number of hits. 4 hitter here. This is going to be one of those unique champions that will take Giant Slayer, even though she's only a 2-hitter A1, because of the amount of time she's going to get multiple hits away. So 3 hits A2. Each hit, 30% chance of placing poison sensitivity. So that's goes up to 50. 3-hitter. It's almost definitely going on every time she does an A2. Poison sensitivity, which is okay. And then 4 hits on her A3. 3-turn cooldown. If booked. Each hit, a chance of placing Hex. 4 hits at random. I don't love that. I'd much rather it was just an AoE. 4 hits at random, just pew it anywhere, especially somewhere like Spider or somewhere where there's multiple ads. It's just annoying. So it's okay, bit weird. And then the passive is awesome. So whenever this champion or an ally lands a crit on an enemy under Hex, 10% chance, books up to 25 of placing a big poison for a turn. So imagine a clan boss hits. Imagine you pummeling a clan boss. A multi-hitter is going to land. Definitely going to land the Hex within 4 hits on the clan boss. So all of your champions then land in crits have basically got, if booked, a 25% chance to pop another poison on. That feels like it becomes your poisoner, as well as poison sensitivity going on, as well as extending the poisons that are out there. The only danger, I think, is maybe you'd fill up that debuff bar really quick, and you might end up overwriting where a decreased attack should be or something like that. But maybe for an unkillable team, or maybe for a standard clan boss team as your poisoner, this could be a pretty damn sick epic, I think. Also got speed in all battles, so she could become your kind of stun target, boost your speed of your team, potentially. So yeah, I think this is a cool epic. So there you go, guys. A lot to get through. Normally, I would have broken that into 2 videos, but we've already done 3 today. If you want to get involved in that G Fuel offer, link's going to be down below in my pinned comment. Tell me what you think. I've been Hell Hades. I will see you later.